Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to episode 44 of the Michael Pina Sr. Show. It's May 1st, 2018, and I'm your host, Michael Pina Sr. Before I get into the show, I just want to real quickly tell you about this weekend. And if you haven't subscribed to my Podbean podcast, go to podbean.com. And then find the Michael Pina Sr. Show podcast. I sent out a lot of links to a lot of people. Check out my show. I mean, Saturday was, kind of a heart-wrenching type feeling, happy feeling at the same time to see all the kids at the awards banquet from Mount Ida. Last event, Forever Mustangs. I loved it. I was there. But I put on my podcast probably the last speech from Coach Landers addressing his team. Listen to it all the way through. At first, it's kind of difficult to hear, but as it goes on, Coach Landers raises his voice and it comes out really clear. And, I thank you, Coach Landers, if you're watching my show. I thank you for everything that you've done for my son, and I know I'm going to see you more down the road. So that's was Saturday. On Sunday, Thomas T-Rad Radley. You guys got to listen to this guy. First of all, you got to listen to his music. I mean, I love it. And I told him right to his face. And I love sitting across the table from somebody and seeing the honesty in their eyes. And I want them to see the honesty in my eyes when I tell them what I think of them. And I told Thomas T-Rad Radley, I love his music. I mean, I don't get why this kid's isn't famous yet. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but listen to the interview. He's funny, and I can't wait to have him back on the show. Thank you again, Thomas T-Rad Radley. And, thanks to all my guests. You guys got to listen to these podcasts. Go to podbean.com and watch them. You can watch it at, on youtube.com/mpina2210. So take a watch and listen. I'm getting better. I got a crew now. Thank you, Sarah, Michael, Shannon. They're my crew now. And I love it because we're family working together. We're building something, hopefully, together. And, of course, I can never forget Meg. Okay, so I just wanted to do that real quick before we get into the show. So, listen, George Patton, General George Patton said, "This budget reflects choice. Not an easy choice, but the right choice. You think about it, the only choice. The choice to take responsibility. Prudent path to fiscal stability, economic growth, and opportunity." And I mean, you got to listen to those words because I'm going to talk about the budget. It's May 1st, 2018. So hopefully you've reset your budget. Yesterday was a rainy day. My sports were canceled. I kind of took some time off anyway. I got to give my body a rest. And, I went over the budget all day yesterday. I talked a little bit about it with Meg and we're on everydollar.com. Please, if you haven't started your budget, then anything and everything that I'm talking about really won't make any sense to you because you need to be able to tell your money what to do. And you start looking at your budget, like I was going over it with Meg yesterday, and you start going over it line by line and you see where maybe you're making some mistakes or maybe you've, over budgeted or, you start finding money that, you're not using or you need to put money somewhere else. But you need to be able to do that. You need to be able to see where your money's going and what you're spending your money on. Because, until you've got full command of your own money, I mean, you're just spending $10, $15, $20 here and there. And it may not sound like a lot, to go to the store and spend $20, $25. You do that 3-4 times a week, that's $75, $100, $400 a month. Now you're getting into like $5,000 a year, and you start losing track of what you're spending your money on, and you wonder why can't I save? Where's my money going? Everydollar.com. You've got to download that to do your budget. And I recommend it to everybody. The first thing I do when I sit with a client is we talk about budget. And I'm talking to you about it again. I mean, it's one of the first episodes that we went over. And I'm talking about going back to the basics. I mean, you can't work the baby steps. Go to episode 4, all the way back to episode 4, and listen to me talk about the baby steps. You can't work the baby steps without having a proper budget. And you hear it all the time when people get out of debt. The number one reason, the number one thing that helped them get out of debt was setting and having a proper budget. So that's what I'm looking for you. That's what I want, and I did it yesterday. And, we've got changes coming down the road with Michael transferring schools and, different things that affect your money. And you got to just sit and you got to take care of your own money. So everydollar.com. I can't stress it enough. Go back and watch my videos. If you're just watching me for the first time, again, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe, put your email in, hit the bell. All right. But listen, you got to go back to some of the things, because I do really try to talk about different things every day, unless you ask me a question and then I go, I can answer a question and it may overlap some of the things that I've talked about. But now that I'm getting along on this and we're up to episode 44, there are different people that are following me that haven't watched everything. So I want to make sure that, especially, again, it being the beginning of the month, this is when you got to set your budget for the month. And this is a long month. So get that budget set, work that budget. It's hard. It's work. It takes time. It takes responsibility, like General Patton says here. It's your choice, and it's a choice you got to make. It's part of being part of a winning team. You got to put together your game plan. If you don't have a game plan, which is your budget, then the entire game falls apart. So, again, set the budget. All right, listen. That's all we're going to talk about with that today. You got questions on that? Get a hold of me, Coach P2210 at yahoo.com. We'll